How's it going, everyone? How are you? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Welcome back along to the channel. Thought I'd do something a little bit different this time around. Bring you a little bit of content as to how my match days look. Not just the match days though, the day before the match day as well. Of course, it is Friday at the time of recording. Arsenal take on Leeds United tomorrow. So I thought I'd take you through the entire process for me. Now in my job, a lot of people often say to me, you know, what does it look like for you? What does a match day look like? What does the build up to a match look like? Well, I'm here at Emirates Stadium now, Friday morning, and I'm here to preview the match with the Premier League. So I'm on my way to go and collect my pass from the security office. I'm going to be inside the stadium, going to be in the Arsenal Museum today doing a piece of content for the Premier League, and then over to the next stop, which I'll fill you in on a little bit later on. So inside the Emirates Stadium for Premier League productions, down by the tunnel, standing in Mikel Arteta's technical area. There you go. Not that he ever stands in it, but yeah, I'm here. We're going to be filming some content, a couple of live hits into the studio. So if you do watch the worldwide Premier League programming, then check it out. You might see me. There we go. So I've had to take cover in the stands because it is absolutely chucking it down. It is chucking it down. And as you can see, I'm not exactly wearing the best coat. No umbrella. Shocking. Rookie mistake. I've lived in England all my life. You'd think I'd have worked it out by now. Can never trust the weather. So we've just finished the first live hit, which was being beamed out all across the world. Unbelievable. I've seen a few of you tag me on Twitter to say you're watching it, but I have sought refuge in the corner of the stadium here because it is absolutely chucking it down. I told you earlier on that I was getting soaked. Well, the longer I stand here, the more I'm turning into a bit of a drowned rat. So I've got to take shelter in between hits. We'll be back on again in around about 20 minutes time, and then off to the next one. So yeah. So sitting in the stands waiting for the next hit, just taking the place in really. It's a funny old place when it's empty, a little bit eerie. The groundsmen are at work out in front of us, obviously battling the elements as well. But what I will say is, if you are sitting in the West Stand tomorrow, is it the West Stand? The stand opposite where Mikel Arteta sits, the East Stand, in this new stadium. I say new, it's been around for a while. But if you take a look behind me, that leak that we saw, see it just there? The leak that we saw during the Sporting Lisbon game that caused so many people to move from their seats is still there. And actually, from what I can see, it looks like it's got worse. So bring a raincoat if you're sitting in that stand tomorrow. So all done at the Emirates Stadium, 2 live hits on the Premier League's official channels, talking Arsene Wenger, talking the game tomorrow and the resilience that Arsenal need to show to get through the remainder of the season in the position that they're currently in. Off to the next one now, off to TalkSport 2 for an afternoon show with the brilliant Shabana Ahern. See you in a bit. So in the TalkSport 2 studio with the legend that is Shabana Ahern with her.
Hi!
Absolute legend. Where's the sparkly headphones? They are absolutely legendary. Look at that. Look at that.
They're fab, aren't they? They're actually Swarovski crystal. And I used to use these when I was DJing in the clubs back before I had children and a husband. And yeah, and I found them recently, and they plug into a radio desk, and the headphones in here are shambolic. TalkSport, if you're listening, I hate these headphones, and I've got a small head, so I just thought I'll start using them again. So I'm glad you appreciate them. They're very, very old. They're like 15 years old.
Before we go on air, because we're running out of time, 2 quick fire questions. Are Arsenal going to win the Premier League?
Yeah.
Are Arsenal women going to win the Champions League? You're hesitating.
Oh, if they get their up of the green, yeah, they can do whatever the hell they want. Arsenal women, I think with the squad they've got, the injuries they've got, it's so hard. It's so hard. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think they can get to a final. I'll say that.
Good stuff. Make sure you follow Shaban on YouTube. What is it? Just Shabana Ahern?
Shabana Ahern. There's only one.
Make sure you give it a follow, subscribe, all of that stuff. Follow her on the socials. Absolute legend. One of my favourites in the industry.
Does anyone else want to hear some more stories about my headphones?
If you do, go over to the channel. I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Super cool.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's Saturday, match day. On my way walking to the Emirates Stadium, you can see it there in the distance, getting closer. Kickoff is still a few hours away, but I promise you I'll take you through the entire journey, not just the build up to the game, but the match day experience as well from my side. As I say, here nice and early because of course Manchester City take on Liverpool. Now I'm not expecting City to drop any points, but it would be nice if they did. But I think judging by the turnout here and how many people are here around the ground already, I guess a lot of people had that idea as well, you know, to come down, find somewhere to perch themselves and watch the Manchester City game and see how they get on, you know. As I say, it's all about Arsenal's job today. You know, we've got to do what we need to do. We need to focus on Arsenal, supporting the team, getting behind the team. We need to get 3 points on the board, 3 more points. And if something happens at the Etihad that favours us, then great, happy days. But don't count on it, don't be obsessed by it, just focus on our job here. We do that, that's all you can ask. So I've made my way into the media lounge, getting ready to sit down and watch the Manchester City match. I know I said we shouldn't obsess over it, and we absolutely shouldn't. We've got to focus on doing our job, but obviously want to keep across it, want to see what's going on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Liverpool can do something. Atmosphere's building nicely in here. Not quite busy just yet, or not quite as busy as it normally is just yet, but it's really early. I mean, it's still, 2.5 hours before kickoff. But I've noticed there are more people here than normal when it comes to sort of a 3 o'clock kickoff at around about this time because of course, that game that's taking place. But yeah, if Liverpool could do us a favour, that would be absolutely grand. But we'll be back as soon as we get some team news and some more information on today's game. Come on, you Gunners. That's it, had enough of the press room. Manchester City are now winning by 2 goals to 1. Fantastic goal, to be fair to them, but I can't watch it anymore, so I'm going to make my way up towards my seat inside the stadium and get in position, get sorted, get dialed into the studio, make sure that there are no issues. Here we are, the home of football, as they say. But yeah, bit disheartened by what's going on, obviously, at the Etihad, but I did say don't obsess over it, so I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here, stood here, walked here, or videoed myself moaning about it for the next minute or so. But anyway, look, all the focus now needs to be here, all the attention needs to be here. People are starting to slowly make their way inside the ground. The ground's been open a little bit longer today than normal because, of course, people have wanted to get in early and watch the football and watch the Manchester City game. So there are a few people in here, but I'm sure as that one comes towards its conclusion and people start to realise that Liverpool aren't going to get anything, they'll start making their way into their seats. So Manchester City at the moment 4-1 up, that's done and dusted. They've got all 3 points, it's over to us now. And the big team news, the surprise team news, is that Bukayo Saka isn't in the starting 11. He starts from the substitutes bench. Mikel Arteta has told us that it's because he was feeling unwell and missed training as a result of that. He wasn't feeling very good at all, but he is feeling better today, hence why he's on the bench, but he's not in the starting 11. So there's a front 3 of Trossard, Jesus and Martinelli. Hopefully that'll still be good enough to do the job, but of course we've got Bukayo if we need to call on him from the bench. Let's see how it goes, because the pressure was always on, but it's on even more now because Manchester City have just made light work of Liverpool. They've absolutely battered them, in fact. Here we go, kick-off time at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal versus Leeds United in the Premier League, with the Gunners looking to respond after Manchester City made light work of Liverpool earlier on this afternoon. So half-time here at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal lead by a goal to 0. Gabriel Jesus with the goal. His first goal since October for the Gunners, which is obviously massive. But also, question marks over the penalty from some inside the stadium. I think it was just about a penalty. Maybe it was a little bit soft, but it's a penalty kick. And I didn't think he was going to take it. Thought Martin Odegaard was going to take it, obviously, because he was standing there holding the ball. He gave it to Jesus. And at least he's back, not just among the players out on the pitch, but among the goals as well. That could be huge for us. A bit of half-time mini fish and chips. Yeah, that's what you get. And yeah, looking forward to the second half. Hopefully, we can go on and seal the deal and get the 3 points that we need. So yeah, I'll be back a little bit later on with another update. Cheers. Making their way out for the second half. Arsenal in front, of course, thanks to that Gabriel Jesus penalty, but the performance level really does need to be better, I think. The second goal would certainly settle some nerves here inside the stadium. Big half for both sides. Obviously, Leeds need the points for a very different reason. But for Arsenal to re-establish that 8-point lead ahead of our trip to Anfield next week would be massive. Come on, you Gunners. Again with Gabriel Martinelli into the penalty area, cuts it back to the edge of the box towards Odegaard. Leading was there to intercept. Gabriel Jesus, the goal from Ben White at the far post, then Granit Xhaka's header secured the 3 points for Arsenal after Leeds put one back through Rasmus Christensen. Arsenal restore their 8-point advantage at the top of the Premier League. Manchester City win 4-1, Arsenal do it too. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 1. Finished up then, Arsenal 4, Leeds United 1. A comfortable win in the end. Not the greatest performance to start with from the Gunners. Leeds looked pretty good in the first half as well. You have to give them credit. You have to be fair. But Gabriel Jesus, who hadn't scored for the Gunners since the beginning of October, won a penalty in the first half and then converted it. Straight after the break, the Gunners doubled their lead through Ben White, who came in at the far post to turn in a Martinelli cross. And then Jesus, I said that once he scored the first, he'd start scoring regularly again. And he did. He got his second, Arsenal's third, after some wonderful work from Leandro Trossard. And then Granit Xhaka with another goal in the Premier League this season, powering home a header to make sure that the points were done after Leeds pulled one back through Christensen. I'm off now to the radio room to interview Mikel Arteta after the game. Buzzing, really excited. Always better after a win as well. So yeah, catch you guys in a bit. Radio room, then press conference, and then we're off. Mikel, how good was it to see a fullback in Ben White getting forward into that position? He's done it a couple of times this season now, and 12 months ago he was playing as centre-back. How much work has he done?
As a manager, when he puts the ball in the back of the net, it's great. If he doesn't, and then on the counter we have an open space, not so happy. But he's timing those runs really, really well. He's a threat there, even on set pieces, he's improved a lot. To be more dangerous and to drag more attention into the opponents, and I'm very pleased with him.
Amy? Just finished up with the radio interviews and the post-match press conference. Mikel Arteta was in a pretty good mood today. I think you'll enjoy the interviews. I also got to speak to Ben White post-match as well. He was asked the question, Ben White, did you watch the Manchester City game today? Did Mikel Arteta let you watch it? And his response was, I don't watch football. Proper on brand from Mr. Ben White. But look, fantastic win. Big 3 points, 8 points clear, back at the top of the table. Every game does feel like a cup final, regardless of what Mikel Arteta says. It really, really does. And 9 to go. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight as to what my match day and the pre sort of match build-up stuff looks like, and I hope I've done that in some way. I know I'm not the best vlogger in the world, so yeah, maybe if we continue to do these, they'll get better. But let me know in the comments, did you enjoy it? Is this something you want to see more of? And if you do, I'll do my best to make more. Cheers. Like and subscribe.